believe in you.
I hope that I believe in me too. Here we go.
Do it.
Welcome to Torg Tuesdays, Take 2. I am JM, your GM, and these are my four horsemen, my storm knights. Bear with us as we are dealing with technical difficulties. When we last left our storm knights off, they had chased Lapis to the Philadelphia hospital, and there they encountered the what was the agent of the Delphi Council who was helping them, but turned out to be a cyber demon from Tharkold who was wearing, we hope, just a replica face of Agent Smythe. It could have been, we don't know. They've not really investigated that. A gunfight ensued, as Joshua on our YouTube video pointed out. The random gods and goddesses were a little fickle last time, so hopefully they're a little bit more standard for our four horsemen this time. They also wanted to point out, hey, Edith, vampires don't sparkle. Also, big thanks to Adi for saying that we are a bunch of nerds, but we are their kind of people. So thank you to everyone who watches the video online. Please comment. We love hearing from you. We will read your comments online, and we will generate dialogue based off of that. So, when we last left off, I had Edith and Anton and Lady Salvo on the top of the hospital, watching the helicopter fly off with Lapis giving a rude gesture from the Nile Empire, specifically to Lady Salvo, but kind of it was a general, like a broad effect rude gesture. And V in the lab or in the security station, discovering that while the police were able to interrupt the ritual that she discovered going on in the parking garage, there was an obelisk from the living land, and that it had started to activate, attempting to pull Philadelphia out of the core Earth cosm and into a land filled with dinosaurs, torn clothes, and incredibly attractive people, which is generally considered, a bad thing for core Earth. So, standing on the rooftop, we're going to start there. Just so you know, it is core Earth, so of course there is a fire hose there on the roof, ready to put out any fires. Let's get started.
Lady Salvo grabs the fire hose, runs to the edge of the building, and jumps off, holding onto it, using it to rappel down towards the bottom.
All right, so go ahead and give me the roll. I will. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 7, which is a -2 to my. It'd be a total of 13.
All right, so you see Lady Salvo, scarf flapping in the wind. Fire hose in one hand, pistol in the other, goes leaping off the edge of the building. Edith and Anton, what do you do?
I rush to the edge to look over to make sure she doesn't fall to her death.
I need to make sure that I see her fall to her death if that's what's going to happen.
You two are, O ye of little faith. What you discover is two things. One, the fire hose does not reach all the way to the ground. However, it does reach to about 10 feet above the awning that is the carport. And so, Lady Salvo, you are able to kind of land on the gravel-covered carport with grace and aplomb.
Naturally.
V, what are you doing? Lady Salvo's gone. It looks like she leapt off the edge of the building. You have completely lost track of her.
Lady is crazy. I will jump to the basement feed. So you said one of the cops suddenly had like long flowing hair and a red shirt?
Yeah.
Okay. I will start making my way that way.
All right. Lady Salvo, you land there. You can hear the police officers sort of talking over their radios, and you definitely can hear. There seems to be a lot of confusion coming over kind of the general channels. Did you see that? My car just died. I can't figure out what's going on. Is that a giant bird?
I'm running
like that.
inside the parking garage.
All right, so you jump off, hit the ground, start running. Anton and Edith.
Shall we? I look at Edith. I jump off and activate, hopefully,
Yep.
telekinesis.
After this roll, if Anton survives, he will remember that the correct order is activate telekinesis, then leap off of the building.
I'm inspired by Lady Salvo. Just leap off and like, oh, okay.
Let's remember our dear friend Saldir.
Saldir is
You gotta
on.
make sure the spell works first.
That is a reference to one of our Dark Eye games, where in the Dark Eye, invisibility only works on flesh, not on clothes. And our good friend Saldir the Elf would always take his clothes off and then fail to cast invisibility. Like, every time his invisibility spell, it never worked for the whole campaign.
Wow.
And eventually it just became a running gag. He wasn't even actually trying to use it. He just... To you, Saldir. All right, Anton, please tell me you made this roll.
I made an outstanding roll, so my strength is +4.
All right. So you see Anton start to accelerate and then start to slow down as he gets closer to the ground. Edith, you were left alone on the roof.
Yeah. Is there like a fire escape or anything that I can take to get to the ground, or do I have to follow the hose?
You'd either have... You would either have to take the stairs or you could follow the hose. The hose
Hose it
knows. Okay. You I will need a maneuver roll from you, but it will be easier as Lady Salvo has sort of paved the way.
It's a 10.
All right, so that is your base maneuver.
No, sorry. It was a 10. It explodes.
Oh, it was a 10. It does explode.
Yes.
All right.
So I've got a total of 27. That's +9, and my base maneuver is 10, so it's 19.
All right. You've got your monster hunting, gloves on, so you just kind of half repel, half slow your own fall. When you hit the carport, there's a little bit of smoke rising from the inside of your gloves, but you are fine.
And her duster looks awesome.
It does. You guys all just look spectacular in what you are doing. Even V running down the hallway through the sterile linoleum and harsh fluorescent lights still manages to look chromed out and awesome. All right, so V, you and Lady Salvo arrive in the parking garage sort of at the same time. You come bursting through the doors, and again, your this police officer, like all of them, like seem to have their clothes have suddenly, like midriffs are being exposed. You don't remember them having all of those muscles on their arms. Yet there they are. And you can see that it looks here as if the vines have started to spread out and are sort of choking and reclaiming some of these concrete pillars around this stela.
From the doors, how far am I from? Can I see the obelisk?
You can. They have, in fact, you actually see one of the police officers kind of, as you kind of come out the doors, he's pushing on one of those delivery vans and shakes his hair as he just kind of stretches and revealing the obelisk. And you can see Lady Salvo coming in. You just see this shadowy figure kind of come around the concrete ramp, and the light of day kind of silhouettes them, and you recognize it's Lady Salvo.
Is there any gems or special things on top of the obelisk?
There are not gems. This one, but you do have. There is the large skull that has been pressed down on top of it.
Can I try to shoot the skull?
Well, so this is how this sort of thing works. This is what is known as a dramatic task. You can try to deactivate the the stele, this anchor point, if you will, for what is going on. But it is not a single roll. It's actually a sort of series of steps as you attempt to prevent it from activating. All right.
Okay, so it's clearly not fully on yet.
No, it is in the process of coming alive, thanks to the actions of V kind of sending these people in, the police officers in to kind of stop this. So the way this works is this is a dramatic skill resolution. It's the first one we've done for this campaign. So I'm going to kind of walk everyone through as, one, this is Maddie's first game of Torg. And two, we haven't done a whole lot of them, and there's sort of a unique aspect of how the Torg rule set works. So,
Question before we get into it. My intent was not to quite land because I can fly with levitation, because I want to keep it up and I want to get in there, and I wanted to try to use my telekinesis to lift the skull off somehow. So that's how I was wanting to do that. And then now you can explain resolution, or it's not going to work, or however it works.
So you will arrive on step B of this. And then Edith, you'll arrive on step C. So the first step is basically Lady Salvo and V. So the way this works is you kind of the dramatic skill resolution takes an important task, whether it's a chase scene, whether it's a magical ritual to destroy a magical artifact like happened in the Eternity Shards game, or trying to stop something from activating like what we're doing right now. And it sort of systematizes it, and it uses the drama deck.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So basically, you have to get through all 4 steps of stopping this thing from activating successfully. If you don't, let me make this very clear, if you do not succeed at this, in 5 rounds, Philadelphia will be pulled into the living land, and all of my preparation, I'm just kidding, I'm prepared for both opportunities. So you have 5 rounds to sort of deal with this, all right? As you kind of move through this, you got to tell me what you're doing, how you are attempting to prevent this artifact of darkness, artifact of the High Lords, from driving itself deeper into the reality of this cosm and sort of tearing it away. It's not just as simple as I blow up the skull on top, or right. This is a task that requires time to get through. Now, part of the other issue is the fact that on the drama card, let me show one of these for our viewers. So on the drama card, you'll see on the side, this side, it'll list what steps can be completed here. So, for example, if this was the first card I was using, it can only be used to complete steps B and D. So there is a chance that the drama deck is against you, and you may have to try and complete all 4 steps at once through multi-actions and taking a bunch of penalties. There are also approved actions. We're going to kind of do everything like normal in combat. So if you can find a way to pull the approved action into effect, then you'll get an additional destiny card. And if time is about to run out, you can attempt to declare what is called a last-ditch effort. You have to get all of the remaining actions in 1 round, with the multi-action penalty with an additional -2 because you are rushing through everything you were trying to do. There are also dilemmas that could possibly come up, and if we get to any of those, we will cover them. Ross, is there anything else you would want to add about dramatic task resolution? All right.
You covered it.
So,
Before you flip, can I spend a card?
sure.
Okay, I want to spend leadership and give Lady Salvo a drama card,
Cool.
and V a connection card, and then you just give me 2 different cards.
All right.
Does that
I'm
go
gonna
first?
give you my second wind.
Oh no, I
No,
think
he gives me two from the deck.
you keep your cards till the end of the
Never mind.
scene, and then I
It's not a trade. You just get extra cards. So I figure you guys are first, give you some cards, and then I'll get to.
So Mark, you have a seize the initiative, and opponents fail. I'm going to take all the opponents fail out of this deck after tonight. Just because you will never know. I'm going to do that in secret. I will just tell Phantom of Truth if I do it. All right. So what you guys need to find a way to do. Okay, you need to find a way to. I
need one more card.
Flurry.
Flurry. Thank you.
Is that the one you get at Dairy Queen?
That's right.
Oh.
Not here in the Torg universe. It's a very dangerous drink to attempt. It sometimes causes your brain to
If
solidify.
we fail, there will be no flurries in Philadelphia.
Wrong chain.
All right. So here's what you guys need to attempt to do. Okay, it's very clear to you that the obelisk is spreading the influence of the living land. So you need to find a way to reestablish and reconnect this area with core Earth's cosm. Okay, once that's done, you need to find a way to power down the obelisk to kind of cut it off from its power source, and then you need to find a way to destroy it. So those are sort of the tasks that you need to accomplish over the 5 rounds. Make sense? All right, V and Salvo, you are up first. As this thing is starting to spread its influence, you can see even some of the response officers here. They are grabbing their heads. You can see that scales are starting to blossom across the backs of some of them. Their fingers are erupting into claws. This is I Have You Now is the name of the card, which is perfect to start. It means all heroes are stymied, and there is a complication. Which means that if you fail here, you will actually subtract 1 from all future parts of this skill resolution. If something goes wrong, it goes really wrong. And I have a couple of ideas for how that'll work, but let's start off with you two. What are your... Yes, Mark?
Sorry, but I'd like to play Seize the Initiative and have you flip the next card.
That is more of a combat.
So play at the beginning of the round to keep the current drama card for another round, or flip a new one after the card. Oh, well, after the card has been revealed. So can I play it to flip this one, or?
Sure.
I just want us to have a setback right from the get-go.
All right, Into the Fire. This one says that heroes will suffer a surge. But this will allow you to get resolved the first or second step of this dramatic task resolution. Approved actions are Intimidate or Taunt. So you kind of feel like everything is starting to come, like, kind of build to a tension against you, and suddenly you feel like you may have the ability to sort of seize the initiative here and move forward.
So, Jam, my question is, with the 3 things we have to accomplish, do we have to do them in that order?
You have to accomplish. You have to figure out what you were trying to do. Obviously, destroying the obelisk is last. So yeah, this is the order that you kind of have to do. You have to force it to pull its influence back by reestablishing the connection with core Earth. Then you can try and power it down, and then you can destroy this thing, because these are devices that are kind of beyond the kin of even Storm Knights. Right? They were devised by the Gaunt Man and the High Lords for the purpose of tethering realities to core Earth. So what's the plan, Salvo and V? You are up first.
Maddie, would you like to go?
Jim, the cell phones we have, are they just plain burner flip phones, or are they smartphones?
These are smartphones. Remember, they were tracking you.
Right. Okay. So my idea, and you can tell me if this is completely off base, but trying to reestablish a connection, can I tweak the smartphone to start playing YouTube cat videos? And just set that into the middle to kind of reestablish.
What about YouTube cat videos speaks to the core Earth reality of Philadelphia to you?
I mean, people are fascinated by cats doing weird stuff, and so much so.
In my headcanon, can I just say you're using the internet to reinforce the reality, and you can describe it however you like?
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. I'm just trying to slide the phone in so it starts playing some sense of normalcy of Philadelphia. So maybe the news or a weather report. Oh, there we go. I just slide it in on the Weather Channel.
Or the Rocky theme.
Or the
Rocky theme. How about like a public domain thing, like chicken in the straw, or turkey in the straw, or something else that we could hum on stream? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so go ahead and give me a. Go ahead and give me your. This is a computer roll. You are trying to use your knowledge of of computers and the smartphone to basically create a tethering effect. For this first step.
Okay, and in your head, it's the news. In my head, it's kittens inspired by kittens. Because it's...
Listen, your Torg may vary.
Okay, so that's a 14. So that would give me +1. And I will use my willpower to make it +4, so it'd be a 16.
A 16. All right. So first of all, I'm going to need a contradiction check from you. Let me know. Roll a d20 and let me know if you get a 1. Lady Salvo.
No.
You did not get a 1. All right. So your surge does not affect you. Lady Salvo. You can feel this surge kind of happen. You don't know necessarily what V is doing with this device, but you can see the vines sort of retreating, and the hairs on the back of your neck start to rise up. As you can see, as some of the vines retreat, they don't so much retreat as they kind of grow together. And in the midst of everything that is going on, you can see what you recognize, even in the Nile Empire, as Gospogs. So our viewer in chat was right on point. They are Ristar96. Yes, messing with Stila automatically summon Gospogs, or they are drawn to such locations. So, Lady Salvo, as you watch, you can see 4 of these things sort of rise up from what you thought were just the subdued cultists. They actually sort of flow into these creatures and intertwine their dead flesh with sort of rotting vegetation.
Okay. Well, first I need to make a surge check.
You do need to make a surge check.
And I got a 3, so I do not disconnect, although it's a close thing. Yeah. That's barely escaped that one. So yeah, while V is doing things with the phone, I will tell her, good work with the Stella. Because without you, this would have already turned on. And I will, look around for a problem that I can shoot. Gospog are a problem I can shoot.
Gospog are a problem you can. They sort of bonelessly rise up, and you can see, like, as they open their mouths, they don't so much scream as like flowers, like these like corpse flowers, sort of blossom out from their lips, and as the leaves unfold, you can see they're like these fanged mouths on the inside. You want to give me a shot?
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to try and shoot all 4 of them.
Oh. The multi-attack.
Yeah, I am multi-attacking on all 4 of these guys. So that's a -6.
That is a -6. Go ahead and give me your roll.
I've got a drama card, so I'm not worried. All right, so 16 on the die, which is a +3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe I don't need to put a possibility on this, but I will anyway because it's cool.
It is cool.
So I'm gonna spend the drama. I can, right? Because it's not combat.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, I spend the drama to add. So that'll be 26 total, which makes it a +8. So +8 be a 30 minus 6 is 24.
Well, so Ross, how like before we like find out like so first of all, just so you know, you have an outstanding success on all 4 of these creatures as they sort of rise up. But as you're using drama, as you're using like this possibility, what dramatic effect sort of heralds this impressive display of firearms here in the parking garage?
The police radios crackle, and you can faintly hear what sounds like a newscaster. The Storm Knights fight back against the High Lords. They're just in, and there's sort of a gust of dramatic wind that billows out my coat a little bit, but my hat, of course, stays in place.
Of course.
Yeah, and it causes one of the lights to swing in the parking garage so that the shadow comes over me, just as I'm shooting.
Nice.
So the muzzle flashes are lighting up the room.
All right. So, Lady Salvo, you get 2 dice of extra damage here because of your outstanding success.
Do you want to do this per target or just once for all 4?
I'm going to just do it once for all 4.
Okay.
It was a firefight.
And then I started blasting. Ooh, I got an infinity there. So total of 9 on the dice, 14 on the gun, 23 AP2.
23 AP2. Anton, as you sort of come around the curve of the parking garage, you can hear the footsteps. The sound of Edith running is a very distinctive sound. You can hear her behind you, and you see Lady Salvo fire into these sort of horrific amalgamations of rotting corpses and plant matter, and she drops all 4 of them. Single shot in the head?
Sure.
All right.
There is no justice but death for the Gospel. And when the last one falls, the clips fall out of the 45s, and Lady Salvo will calmly announce, "I'm out," because I actually am out of ammo.
So first of all, possibility to Ross for keeping track of his ammo.
Yay!
All right, so we are now in the second part of the second step of the dramatic scene. The reality is starting to reestablish itself. You're not entirely sure how much it's reestablished, V, because our headcanons differ, but also because it is a thing of the High Lords. Now, I just to continue to interact with the chat. Yeah, typically I would say that you have to play into the your hand in your cards into your the hand, because you can run dramatic scenes and combat scenes at the same time. But they sort of rose up in the middle of the first action. So before combat really even took place, Lady Salvo was able to jump in and drop the Gospog. So we are now in the second step of our dramatic task resolution. You could move on to the next step. It could be more difficult. What would you want to do here, Anton? As you kind of come around, we'll see who's got the who wants to interact now.
What's step 2 now?
You still have to establish the reality, or you can start to try and destroy the stele.
Take off the skull.
Yeah, I was going to try to land so I don't have to use it for myself, and then reach out with my telekinesis. It's concentration, I still have it up, and try to lift the skull off. Since I remember V telling me, hey, this thing rose up and they put a skull on it. So I'm thinking that's part of the ritual. I got to remove it.
All right. give me your roll, and I would like to point out to those of you who if you ever encounter a stele again, it may not be this easy to destroy because this one is not active yet. It's not actively anchored to the other one. This is sort of you are kind of catching it because of the attention of V last game. You're sort of catching it before it became entrenched. So
right, if it was actually activated, I think I'd be doing everything in my power to stop. Wait, whoa! Let's not destroy this.
Let's not do this. Exactly. All
But
right,
it was
Anton.
but since it hasn't been activated yet, we can still do this.
You have a chance. Oh, Anton, let me draw out your card for you here. Here they come. If there's some villains will get flurry if there are additional villains in the scene. So Anton, the approved actions are intimidate or maneuver, but unfortunately on this round, only step A or D could be completed.
We have not completed A.
You have completed A. That was
okay. So
yeah.
Right.
So you're on step B.
Okay, guys, you want me to play? Oh no, I did that already. I can't flip the card. Okay, but I can start the next step, and then we'll go. You
won't be able to, so you can basically still take the you can attempt the next step anyway. It counts as an approved action if successful. So you're not actually making progress, but you will get a destiny card if you attempt to do this.
Okay, and you asked for a roll. Do you want me? What kind of roll do you want me to do?
So this would be your. You're going to make a telekinesis attack roll essentially with it. So you're going to use your. Okay. You're attempting to kind of wrest it off. It replaces your strength with your mind. So you're going to use unarmed combat to do this. Damage will be figured based off of your strength.
Well, that was a 6, so I will spend the possibility.
I will also play supporter. So that's a +3.
Well, a 2 is a minimum of 10, so let me see. That's 16 is 3 plus your supporter,
which is +3.
Okay, so that's 6 to. That's a 14. Well, because unarmed combat is a dex, but or do you want a strength? Well, it's the same number, doesn't matter. 14. I mean, it gives me my, like you said, my mind. It doesn't give me any. What's it? 14. Okay, it's a good success, so it's +2. So the effective is 9. Mine is a 7, so +2.
So what was your roll?
My roll was a 14. So if we're going against telekinesis, my target is don't worry about that.
No, don't worry about this. Because you're not rolling. Your telekinesis is sustained. It's still based off the outstanding success that you had earlier. You've stopped, and you're now applying it to kind of pull it up.
Okay.
So you 14. Got a 14. So here's the thing. It is successful. So you will get a destiny card, hero. But what you do know is that it is a difficult task to attempt to do. Like, this thing is actively resisting you at this point. And so you know that it will be a minus, you're going to need a 14 on the next action to attempt to pull this thing off. All right. Closer to victory. Special action this round is maneuver. A, B, or D can be done. Yes, V.
Could I go in that round?
You can go, but there's still not going to be progress towards the resolution. Is there something you would like to do?
Well, I was.
And same for Lady Salvo.
Only counts towards. Okay. My thought was just there's still a bunch of police cars around, correct?
There are no police cars here. There are the delivery vans.
Okay. Do they have radios in them? Like music radios?
Yeah, they do have music. They do have.
Okay. So I Googled to make sure. gonna run up and try and tune in, if they work, to the classical radio station. So there's one called WRTI, so I'm gonna try and find that, get some classical musical going in some of them, and then go to another one and try and get some pop going. And one of the ones in Philly I looked up is Q102. So I'm just gonna try and get that blaring with the cacophony of kittens, 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 to really just solidify technology.
I'm going to give you a possibility for the fact that you researched what the official radio stations were in Philadelphia, bringing a level of verisimilitude to this session that I have not brought. So well done. Lady Salvo, is there anything you would like to do with your turn? Music is starting to play.
Yeah, well, that means I can switch off mine, because it won't be helping, and I'll holster my guns. What I'll do is I'll walk up to a couple of the policemen and put my hands on their shoulders and kind of close my eyes and just sort of try and reestablish that link of reality that I have within me as a Storm Knight to sort of help them return. And I will say to them in a voice that they can hear over the music and say, think of your families, think of your homes, think of the oaths you swore. And I'm going to try and, kind of wrench them back into this reality. So I'm imagining this is a reality roll.
This is definitely a reality roll. Go ahead and give it to me.
Awesome.
I'm imagining him doing it with like Justin Bieber in the background.
No. It's a Bieber-free zone.
All right, I rolled a 13. I'm going to spend a possibility on that.
Okay.
So I rolled a 19 on the reroll, so that's a 31.
Nice.
Which is a plus 10 to my reality of 10, so a total of 20.
All right. With an outstanding success, you are able to sort of you kind of watch as you talk to these people. They suddenly don't fill out their clothes as well. They kind of return to more normal proportions. The one guy who had the long flowing hair, it sort of looks a little duller now, not as full-bodied, kind of hanging. But they all kind of shake their heads as if they're clearing, and you can see the one who kind of scratches at her neck, and the scales just sort of fall off and tink to the ground and kind of dissolve into dust. All right, Edith, you are now in the scene as well. So this is our third round here. Closer to victory, the key, the approved action is maneuver. And
don't I get a card?
Oh, you do get a card. Thank you for that. Martyr. both the so for those of you who don't play Torg, right? We have the cards that sort of in our Storm Knight game. Martyr basically says you can achieve a significant goal in the scene at the cost of your character's life, and we had somebody kill a dragon with that scene, kind of ending. Yeah, it's a good card, especially as a GM. The way I run games, I love that it is a mechanical effect. I normally will reward players who want to say, I would like to do this crazy thing, and I'm willing to put my life on the line for it. I love that this is sort of the gameplay that Torg reinforces. All right, so approved action this round is maneuver. Things seem to have stabilized a bit. You can complete step B, but not step C this round. So you can't do a multi step thing. And this is round 3. So you have 2 rounds left to try and deactivate this obelisk before the entirety of Philadelphia is sucked into the living land. So, who would like to try and take an action this round, specifically for moving the? You can do whatever you want in the scene, but at this round, one of you has to make a skill test to try and move this dramatic task towards resolution.
I think in character, I would call out and say, where's it getting its power from?
Can I play a Cosm card?
You can.
So it's go for broke. So whoever's trying to lift the skull off would ignore 4 points of penalties.
All right, so that would drop it from a 14 to a 0. So from a 14 to a 10 to a normal difficulty task.
I'm going to try to lift the skull.
All right, go ahead and give me the roll, Mark.
Don't fail me. 12, so that's even. I will spend. It's not bad, but don't think it's good. I'll spend my drama card as a possibility to roll again. 22, because it's 10 as a minimum. So that's +8. So that makes it a 21.
That is an outstanding success. In fact, that is so successful that I'm going to give a +2 to the next action towards resolving this task. So, Anton, not only do you lift the skull up with telekinesis, you see the skull go flying up and crash against the concrete roof of the parking garage, and it shatters, and you can just hear the sound kind of echo a lot like deeper. It's a much more resonant sound than you would expect for just a skull cracking. And you can see, Lady Salvo, that the vines start to rot again. They start to pull back as if that was some sort of capstone kind of on its own sort of internal link to the living land. Does anyone else want to take an action in the scene before we see what's on the next step? You guys have successfully completed step 2, or step B, if you will.
Lady Salvo, would you like my carbine?
I'm fine, thanks.
I really thought you were going to take the police officers. Like, you don't need these. Acquire 2 loaded pistols.
Well, I will reload with my weapons though. That's a good point. I need to do that.
All right. So you see, Lady Salvo, Edith, V, what are you doing?
I am on the lookout for any other effects that this Stela might be having. I know that from the sounds that I could hear, I assume that there were enemies, but I'm not sure that there aren't more.
All right. So I would like you to give me a find roll as you look around the scene, attempting to discern what is going on.
10?
You sort of kind of take in the area, and from behind a car several rows down, something large is rising up, and sort of you can hear the sound of like tires being pushed against concrete, against, they're scraping. You can hear the sound of it's not like the squeal of metal, but you can definitely hear the sound of metal being pushed against metal, and all of a sudden an alarm goes off. You can hear the whoop 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 of a car alarm kind of off. Again, several rows away, where the lights have sort of kind of gone out. You can see the vines that are sort of pulled them free. You can see the sparks from the cables.
All right, I take out my loaded crossbow.
All right, V, you get all of the music on. It is a cacophony of discordant noise, as I see it or hear it in my head. Basically, if there's anyone there trying to concentrate, you have definitely prevented that from happening.
Eat it, dinosaur. They have ears.
They do have ears.
I hear the same thing that Edith hears, or no?
Not over the music in the van you're in.
Is there anything useful in the van for attempting to destroy the obelisk?
You know what? Give me a find roll.
What if you drive the van into the obelisk?
I mean, that'll be the second step. I'm going to spend a possibility because that's sucked. $15.
All right. So, V, with a good success, these are delivery vans. What do you find in the van that is useful for destroying the obelisk?
Delivery van.
It could be the keys in the ignition, to go with Edith's idea. Or I'm going to let you, like, what do you find in the van that will help you with the deactivation or the destruction of the obelisk?
So it's a stone obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
It's been erected, and it's a delivery van. I really want to explode something because, hospital.
I appreciate your restraint.
Well, people, oxygen. Is there a package that is heavy enough that if I turn the van on and set it, I can just put it on the gas and jump out?
All right, so you go tearing through the back of the van. Lady Salvo, you see the van is a-rockin'. The little dome light reveals V, like, flowers, ooh, chocolates. And then you pick up something that weighs like 12 pounds. It's a small little brick of something. You're like, yeah, that'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I believe Salvo reloaded. Anton destroyed the skull. Edith identified that there's something out there. And V destroyed about a half dozen anniversary gifts, but then found something heavy to use the van as a ramming instrument. So this one is called Lookout. There is a possible setback, so you can complete any number of steps that you want, C and D. But if you fail at your task, you will not only not progress into C, but you will go back to step A on the 4th round of a 5-round resolution. Now, also, villains go first in this instance, and the approved action is attack. So, Edith, as you take your crossbow out and you start to move towards what's in the darkness, you hear this kind of screeching bellow, and cars start. You now hear the sound of cars, the metal tearing, as into the light, charging directly at you, is a 5,000 kilogram Triceratops, and it's going to roll to attempt to hit you.
Is it a giant kitten?
It is not a giant kitten. Come on, 8. Possibilities never. All right, so an 8 is a -2, which
you can blame that one on me.
It's distracted by Justin Bieber and Russell.
However, so Edith, I do not suppose that your dodge is an 8.
No, it's an 11.
All right, so this Triceratops goes charging right past you, and it puts 3 horns. As you are kind of in the delivery van, V, you go, aha! Thunk, thunk, these 2 massive horns, and then a smaller one comes through the side of the van. And as you look, you clearly see the imprint of a Triceratops head in the side of the delivery van. It is now your guys' turn. If you attack the Triceratops, you will have to spend possibility into play, or sorry, destiny cards into play, because you will be engaging in combat as opposed to the dramatic task resolution. So, how are you dealing with the obelisk? Are you dealing with the Triceratops? What's the plan?
So is the Triceratops, did it come through, or is it just a face?
The 3 horns, you were very clear that this is a Triceratops. You were looking at 3 bony horns that have rammed through the side of the sliding door of the van.
So if I try and ram the obelisk with this van, the Triceratops is going to impede it?
Yes, unless you wait for the Triceratops to pull its head free.
Ooh, okay, I got it. Can I grab one of those bouquets of anniversary flowers?
Yes.
And kind of wave them out the back and throw them? See if the Triceratops goes for that, so then I can,
I'm going to rule that as a trick, so you may attempt to trick the Triceratops right now.
Point of order, I'm pretty sure it's not Triceratops anymore. I'm pretty sure modern science thinks it's a Torosaurus.
Well, I'm going to countermand you and say in the world of... That's right. In the world of Torg, its entry in the best area is Triceratops, so it may not... It's from the living land. It's not from Earth.
I can explain that. Yeah, those are living land dinosaurs, which are very much based on our 80s understanding of dinosaurs. They're all scaly. No feathers.
No feathers.
Because the world.
I just wanted to be clear for the people in the chat. I don't want anybody to think that we don't know.
Yeah, because they're from a different reality.
Dinosaurs.
Right.
A similar but different reality that is strongly reptile based.
Because we definitely have a fan who thinks that we're big nerds, and if we were to not, we've got to uphold our nerd cred.
I really want this to succeed, so I spend a possibility. So that's the total is a 23 because anything you roll with your possibility is automatically a 10 if it's lower than a 10. Correct?
That is correct, but it doesn't explode if you do that.
No, so it gets me to 23, so that's plus 8. So my trick becomes
Please don't
19. Yeah, Triceratops.
So it turns out that Triceratops is That one Triceratops is very easy to trick. And in fact, not only did your trick succeed, but you got an outstanding success. So that's player's choice. What do you want to have happen as you sort of lean out the window, get the Triceratops' attention with the anniversary flowers. They're all sunflowers. And you chuck them.
Okay. Question. Can something from the living lands damage something from the living lands?
Definitely.
So can I say I lob the sunflowers so they skim the obelisk so when it trundles by to go get them, it bumps
that would end up being a multi-action because not only would you be tricking the Triceratops, but then you would also be trying to advance the... So I'm gonna say no, but if you want, I will allow you to have it rock the obelisk, which will give somebody an additional +2, which means they would be at a total of +4 to whatever action they take, which may be enough to get them to do a multi-action to try and finish this thing off in one round.
Okay, then I will chuck it so it goes running. I mean, see my reference, you won't understand. Like Matt Smith with the golf ball, with the dinosaur to chase it. Ross got it.
Yeah,
I did.
And as it runs, it'll make the thing.
It's okay, Maddie. We're in a world that has multiple realities. So in some reality, Doctor Who continued after David Tennant. It's fine.
Bow ties are cool.
That they are. All right. So you guys see V lean out the window. Oi! And chucks this thing, and the edge of the bone crest on the Triceratops clips the side of the Stela, and it starts to rock back and forth. You are no longer attached. Your van is no longer attached to the Triceratops. However, you do see there's like a Porsche with vanity plates, and the Triceratops just runs right through it. Glass goes shattering. All right, so Edith, Anton, and Lady Salvo, which of you would like to take an action?
If it's tipping, you want me to try to push it over? I don't think I can lift it, but I think I can maybe be able to push it over if it's already going that way. Maybe some...
Oh, do you want me to shoot it too?
I'm saying 230 grain 45s flying.
Okay.
As we push.
Yep. So do you want to do your thing first, or you want me to do my thing first?
I'll push, and then maybe you just need the less extra.
Okay.
All right, so Mark, you will get the +4.
Okay.
And Lady Salvo, yours will be an attack, so it will net you a destiny card after the action.
I rolled pretty good, but we really want an outstanding, so I'm going to use my hero card as a possibility.
Okay.
Thank goodness you got all those new cards.
Yes. So 18 is 20, 33, which is plus 10. That gives me a 23 plus 4 is 27.
All right. That is an outstanding success.
Nice.
So, Anton, you sort of push this thing over. It hits the ground. You can see that there are just thick, fibrous vines that are coming out of the bottom of this stone into the concrete of the parking garage. And even as you watch, you can see it starting, like the vines kind of tighten, and they're starting to right the thing in front of you. Lady Salvo, I'm going to give you a +2 to your roll because of Anton's outstanding success. So you have the option right now, right, of attempting to do multi-action and kind of complete the dramatic task resolution, or you can just do your step now and see how the final round plays out.
Well, Lily still has to go too.
Oh, Lily does still have to go.
And I have flurry, so I can go again if we need to do something to try to finish this. I just have to do after everyone else is gone. If I play flurry, then I can go again, but that's after everyone else is gone.
All right. Lady Salvo, give me the roll.
Okay, so Lady Salvo will draw her pistols again and sort of stand there for a second, just sort of meditate. I'm listening to the various musics that are coming out of the vans surrounding us. And one by one, they all just start to kind of fade into the background until I'm just listening to the one that's classical music, right? It's like the violin strings. And I'm remembering my father's voice as he tells me to tune in, to listen to the harmony of the universe. And there's a certain tone that the violins are making that I can sort of sense as a resonance in the stone of the stela. And when that moment is right, I will snap fire both my pistols 1 millisecond after the other, so that the first bullet hits and then the second bullet hits the back of that bullet to drive it even deeper into the stela, and hopefully destroy it.
All right.
So here's my attack roll with a +2, you said, right?
Yes. And awesome. This is a task that will be at a normal, like the difficulty is a 14 that you're shooting for.
Okay.
Haha.
Well, I rolled a 3, which is a -6 on my 22, which takes me down to a 16. +2 is an 18.
All right.
I can throw a possibility on that. That's because that's not quite.
That's not quite a good success. Yeah, you would need to get a 19.
I'll throw a possibility on that too. And that adds another 10 to that, so that takes it up to a +1. So actually, it's a swing of 7 points, which is pretty great. So yeah, that takes it from a 16 to a 23.
All right. So the bullets kind of drive in, and you see this network of cracks just appear in the stone, and this almost sickly green light, as if none of you are from Core Earth. So this sickly green light sort of emanates from the inside. Again, almost as an 80s view of how maybe radiation might look like in... yeah. All right, so Edith,
I'm ready to die.
You still have an action, and then we will see what the final card is, because that was step C.
There's 4 turtles and a rat nearby.
That's right.
Edith, what do you do?
The stela is destroyed?
It is not yet. There's still one action. There's still one step left in the process. It is exposed. It is vulnerable. On the next round, you can take the final step. So you can do whatever you want with this turn. What do you want to do? There is a Triceratops currently rooting around some dude's Porsche.
Oh, well, you know.
I said dude, right? That's what came out? Okay.
Really, really where I'm at on this.
We did have a question. We did have
the
a question.
Triceratops / Torosaurus.
You're going for it?
I
apologize.
The behind and make it spin around and step on it and trample it.
Ross, Lady Salvo, for the attack, you get action as a card. All right, Edith, what are you doing? It kind of comes up, and there's a little gym bag hanging from, it's the tip of its nose horn. You can see under its foot, the license plate says DRLOV.
I'm back to the don't drive your Porsche to the hospital thing. Okay. Does it have the flowers that V threw?
It does. It kind of like snorts triumphantly and starts to eat the large bouquet of flowers.
V, throw me some more flowers.
All right, you sort of grab the boxes in the air, and the boxes sort of fall to the side dramatically, as if maybe that lingering essence of the Nile Empire is still there. But instead of pulling out 2 pistols, you hold 2 bouquets, one of roses, one of daisies.
Nice.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get the Triceratops' attention?
Yep.
All right, give me a trick roll there. Or are you trying to get what are you trying to do with the flowers? Are you trying to distract it or trying to lure it back?
I would like to lure it back.
Okay, that will be a taunt roll.
Because I really don't think that a Triceratops loose in Philadelphia is a great representation of what we're doing for the Delphi Council.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm envisioning like an air traffic controller with the 2 different bouquets.
All right, Edith.
That's what I envision, yeah.
Give me your...
We could always build a howdah and put it on top and ride it around.
Give me your roll.
I'm going to spend a possibility on that. Because I'm not great at taunting, it turns out. I'm really good at intimidation.
You're really great at taunting. Your character, though.
14.
All right. You get the Triceratops' attention. It lowers its head and is focused on you. All right, so this is it. If this card does not have a D on it, you guys don't...
Well, should I use my flurry, guys, and do it now? Because we can end it this round, right? If we do enough to destroy this...
You would have to have taken a... So yes, you will have a penalty. It's technically a multi-action penalty that you would be taking to try and do this.
Okay, but I'm saying I could use flurry to go, and this card has a D, so if we finish it this round, we could finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Should we try that? Because there's a good chance the next card is nada. Okay, I'll play flurry, and I have telekinesis, so I can either try to pick it up and drop it to break, guys, or do you think I should do my fire to burn the roots off of it so it'll just fall apart?
Fireball.
Cleanse it with fire.
Cleanse it with fire.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yes. Okay, so I will drop telekinesis so I don't take the penalty from that.
Okay.
Try to do, and I will use my go for broke Cosm card because I have one to negate my penalty. Because it's up to 4 is the penalty.
Does coup de grace do anything for you? For doing damage? I know it's a damage die, but
not really at this point.
Okay.
Action card.
+3 to the total of the test. All right, Mark. So you're not worried about the multi-attack penalties. You still have the higher difficulty. So
yeah, higher difficulty, but I'm gonna drop my telekinesis, so I'm concentrating on fire.
All right, go for it.
That's a 14. I will spend another possibility. 24. 24 is +8. That gives me a 21.
+3 from Ross's. Yeah, so it's a 14. So you already have a good success. Ross, do you want to still play the action?
It won't help him.
It
so,
won't.
No.
Yeah. All right. So this thing, Anton, you set your mind to the task, and fire erupts and engulfs not the stone, but the vines and tendrils that are inside the stone, and it very quickly starts to burn. And as it does, Edith, you can see the Triceratops that is going to sort of start charging at you. Like the light swings one way, and you can see the Triceratops, and then everything's kind of in darkness because Lady Salvo set the lights a swinging. And when it comes back, there's nothing there. And as you stand around, the tie to the living land is severed. You guys have successfully stopped this part of Lapis's plan.
Take that, you cheap bluestone.
Does the dinosaur turn into like a dog or something?
Something large definitely goes running away, but Edith, it looks like a large dog with a big salivating maw, and you can see it's chewing on the flowers and does steal that small gym bag as it goes running off into the parking garage. All right, so that concludes this act. So you guys will all get 5 experience points. I will hand out a ton of new cards to everybody, but I would like to know, so 3 things. First of all, Ross, we have a question from the chat. Do Triceratops from the living land taste like chicken or lizard?
They taste like delicious chicken because all of your all of the senses are kind of enhanced by the law of life. So things that taste good taste even better, etc. There's just more vibrancy to the senses. So it's chicken, but it's really good chicken.
Really all right. So then, as a group, I would like you to settle the debate. This is the next card. Some people in chat want to know what the next card would be, and some people in chat say no, never look past. Like if you succeed, don't flip the next card. As the 4 horsemen, do you want to know or do you not want to know?
Surprise me.
I think for the chat, go ahead. If we were playing it at your table, then nah. But you can even show it to the chat first.
Show it to chat for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you guys won't see it. So how about this? I'll show it to you guys because they will not see what's on my camera. So I will show you. This is the card that was going to be drawn. Oh, here, let me.
It must be really good or really bad.
So that is what would have happened on the next round. So you guys saw what happens. My group does not know. So you may laugh, mock, taunt, roll maneuver, whatever you would like to do there. So the third thing I wanted to know is what is your next step? You stand here in the parking garage, having stopped not only uncovered Lapis's infiltrator, stopped them, saw Lapis escape, but also prevented her, for whatever reason, from drawing the city you're in into the living land. You can only assume that her diabolical plan revolved around you guys being stuck in the living land. You all know what happens when you change cosms and how much more difficult it would be to do anything. What do you
Especially
do?
for our group, which is a lot more advanced technology-wise.
I'll turn to V.
We might have been able to meet Sadie and MC Fang, though. They might have come to help us.
That was actually an NPC. Yeah.
And say, is there something you can do to track that helicopter?
I can track her with clairsentience.
Okay.
Is that the one where you have to lick something?
No, there's no licking.
You can't track her, right? Well, it gives me, the clairsentience gives me an idea where she's at. She's in the cosm. If she's dead, it tells me where her body is. Let me pull it up.
The Psi can use an object that was recently in the possession of someone to track that person. The Psi smells, touches, and then focuses on the object. After, the Psi gets a general sense of where the person is currently located. So I don't know what precisely she is until I get close.
Right, smell.
We'll know, like, oh, she's in Europe, France, Paris. She's in that building. As I get closer, then she's there.
That is your decision to use, Mark.
Yeah, I'm saying if we want to do that, then that's what we can do. Or we can try to go to the locations that we know to stop what we found at Delphi headquarters.
I mean, if I can get access, I don't think I have enough information on the helicopter to be able to track it. We could maybe look at radar and see.
And it doesn't mean she's in the helicopter, though. She could take it, get off, and go somewhere else, get on a boat, get on a plane, and the helicopter doesn't lead us really to her.
It's the only lead we've got right now.
Yes, but if I can handle something that she had, like the dagger and
those daggers would be useful if we can find them.
I thought you grabbed them after you disarmed them. Did you not?
I left them in the body.
We can go back and see if we can find it.
We have the emergency procedures from the Delphi Council, right?
You do.
We do. We haven't opened it yet.
I think that we should open those and
You did open them.
What?
Oh, we did.
You did open them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we have contact information for anybody other than Smythe?
You have you have a number of contact information. If you remember, an abnormally large amount of them were in Tharkold, kind of in sort of the office of the guy who is in charge of, at least nominally, the core Earth part of Russia.
Is there some way we can contact the burned spy, essentially? Because wasn't part of this protocol and what she was after all of the names of contacts around? Is there a way we can, I know that the Delphi Council was blown up and their mega computer was blown up, but is there a way we can get to somewhere where we could maybe warn some of these burned spies? Because she wants that for some reason.
You do.
Well, we know where the second half of the list was going to be.
You do.
And that's where she would have to go to get it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where you could go to get the second half of the list and put it together and get this information.
Exactly.
V, can you make sure none of us are bugged with trackers so she follows us there if she doesn't know where it's at?
Yeah, I think we need to ditch the cell phones that Smith gave us. Meanwhile, mine's still just looping kittens inspired by kittens in the background.
Okay.
I just put a new cover on this one.
Definitely bits.
I put mine on the ground and shoot it.
You don't know much about this core Earth technology, but it definitely looks dead.
I'll just throw it in there towards this delay.
In that case, JM, can I play Connection and get us some new phones?
What does the
Or
connection
radios.
card do?
Connection, your hero knows someone in the area who can lend aid, which fits perfectly with my story.
It does. V, you know of two places where you could go get information.
Okay.
And not just information, but like gear that you need. You do know there's a fixer in town that you kind of know through your network of tracking. She is she's just sort of a local fixer. She goes by the name The Cap, and you can find her if you need to. But you also know, if you want you got a connection card. So I feel like it should be a little bit more than just I know a guy who can get me phones or a gal who can get me phones. There's a club in town known as Fortuna's Den. You know it's a place for those who...
We've been there.
You have not been there. Lady Salvo has heard of it. That was one of her things in the flashback.
That's right. Yeah, the club. The club. That's a place that I need to go to for sure.
And the person who runs Fortuna's Den, they owe you a favor. One of their people was caught in a pretty bad situation in the cyber papacy, and maybe before you really knew who you were dealing with, you helped them.
We should go there.
And they said they would owe you one. Yeah, Lady or V, you know where you can find Fortuna's Den pretty easily. You know the tags and the subtle signals that are used to kind of...
First question to the party. Does anybody have body glitter?
Have what?
Have what?
Body glitter?
Vampires may not sparkle, but we're about to.
Yeah, there's a very confused expression on Lady Salvo's face as she just kind of like...
And the GM's.
What?
What club this is? You didn't give me a lot of flavor text, so in my mind,
I did. I told you it was a gambling den.
Gambling den. Okay, so
there's probably people there who wear body glitter.
Like, is there a rave aspect, or is it just a gambling den?
She's saying, how boring is this gambling den going to be?
It is definitely not a... so apparently, vampires may not sparkle, but we're about to is the new hashtag that is coming out of this. You know that it is definitely not a boring place. Like, things that get gambled, things that get sold and bought and traded and brought in and out of this place. This is one of those places that if you're reality rated and in the city, this is kind of your place to go hang out.
Okay. So kind of joking about the rave, but you see she pulls out a makeup kit and very expertly glitters up her other eye to offset the ocular implant.
Okay.
And then flips up the dark hoodie she's wearing. So it's very much a persona that she's putting on.
Okay.
And was going to offer to the rest of the group, so the rest of the group looks like a posse. I'm not talking like rainbow glitter. I'm talking like strategic.
Yet.
You want some sparkles?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've
So
gone under before.
Heavy, dark, black glitter cat eyes to kind of offset the cyber papacy implants on your face.
All right. So are you taking... Is that where the group is sort of deciding they're going to go? All right.
Yeah.
So first of all, who needs more Destiny cards?
Oh, yes.
Lily, do you need any?
No. I did. I taunted a Triceratops. I didn't do much.
Yeah, you did.
Maddie, you get alertness and hero. Ross, you get seize the initiative and action. Mark,
I need 3, please.
Coup de grace, willpower, and drama. Got you, Lily.
V has that card.
Does anyone need new Cosm cards at the start of the act?
Yeah.
Escalation. Yes. Mark?
Can I trade in my Cosm card? I don't think I like mine.
Keep fighting, Mark. Sure, Edith, what do you got?
Well, I currently have Lucky Break. I need to double check.
Okay, if not, you will have There's Always Hope.
Yeah, I'll
Lucky
trade
Break
it.
is good. Can we stake about an hour before we go there?
Sure.
It's going to take a while to put on the sparkles.
It does
Good,
take a while to
'cause
sparkle
I need to cast Mend.
Just trying to see what my other.
What does men do, Mark?
I can heal my wounds.
Oh, all right.
I'll have to make the roll, but it takes an hour, so.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do while we are, while you take this hour while V glitters up? The area is sort of locked down. You do have access to both the car you came into and these delivery vans. Edith and Lady Salvo, what are you doing?
I'm going to search the car for any listening devices or tracking devices.
All right, give me a find. Because you have an hour, I'm going to say that you get a +2 to the roll.
I'm going to trash the cell phones, the rest of the cell phones that we were getting.
Perfect.
All right, spending a possibility. I'm having a bad night tonight.
But see, that's the beauty of Torg. You have so many ways to mitigate it.
All right, so that'll be a 15 on the find.
A 15
on
the find.
Sorry. Did you say we had a +2?
Yes, you have a +2 to it.
17 on the find.
All right. Okay, so as you sort of look through, and don't forget you guys reset to 3 possibility at the start of the act. So as you sort of look through the car, you find something that you think might be a tracker. It does not seem to be put on, and it seems to be sort of integrated into, right? Because remember, you took the car from the station, so it seems to be integrated into the car, but doesn't seem to be on. But it looks like if somebody knew that you had this car, they could definitely figure out where you were at.
V, look at this. I'll point it out to her.
It's a low jack.
Smash it.
V channeling a little Edith. She smashes the low jack.
Look, we had a moment with dinosaurs, okay? I feel like Edith and bonded.
All right, let's just recap the last 2 sessions of Torg. You are in Philadelphia. You have met a face-stealing Russian. You have fought a techno demon and encountered murderous plant people and a dinosaur. Like, this game has it all.
And a skin-wearing robot.
Or
techno demon. I'm not sure which one.
I feel like we have reached maximum Torg, and I'm not sure where we can go from here. Edith, what are you doing for the hour?
So the hospital was it like evacuated or
it was
okay.
At least the 3 floors that were kind of around that area.
Yeah, because I was just curious if I could talk to anybody who had been working with the skin-stealing techno demon.
Smythe?
Huh?
Smythe?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can find Dr. Ortega. She was on that floor. She's kind of sitting in the back of an ambulance drinking something from a thermos that's steaming. She has kind of a blanket, like a shock blanket over her shoulders. Yes?
You were the doctor that was treating the agent that was brought in earlier?
Yes, the one who went...
Yeah. Did you notice anything other than the... Did you notice anything weird about him?
I did. As I was taking his vitals as my team was sort of looking over his the contusions and sort of the cuts that he suffered in that explosion. I do remember there was this beautiful woman. I think she came from a masquerade party or something. Although it seems... Anyway, She was there waiting for him. She said
She arrived before he did.
she did. She arrived before he did. I assumed that whatever agency he was with alerted his wife to what was going on. Although I did hear. She said the delivery was right on schedule, and that he was to stay here, stay there. I'm sorry. He was supposed to stay in place, which I thought was strange because he was in a hospital bed. We were treating him. Where else would he go? Oh, and then she said something about if they find it, to burn it. I'm not sure. Does that help? I assumed that they were both. They were both in shock. And then I left the room, and when I came back, she was gone, and he was. Apparently, he had some sort of distressing voice message. He was on his phone, and his face went. And then he shot my orderly.
I'm very sorry about your orderly.
Then it all went to hell then.
Do we need to go check his body again?
The orderly or the
No, demon.
techno demon?
I'm pretty certain we put him down.
You put him down hard.
But I can go look.
Like, well, yeah. Did we search his body though, or did the next thing happen?
You did not have time to search his body. The next thing happened.
Yes, we might want to do that.
I'll be right back.
You're still not sure where that thunder comes from, but it claps as Lady Salvo goes tearing off towards the hospital. All right, so Lady Salvo, you guys have disabled the LoJack. Lady Salvo's going to go check the body of Smythe. You are talking to Dr. Ortega. Anton, you have finished your mending ritual. You have finished your glittering ritual. What was that, Mark?
Doc, we just recover and goes away with time?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Just want to check before I erased it. Okay, no.
All right. So, Lady Salvo, you get up to the floor where, you see the bullet holes in the wall. You can see where those 4 thugs are being given medical treatment.
That's right.
Immediately, 2 of them, the nurses are like, hold still, what's wrong? And they're just like on the gurneys, like. One guy crosses himself and points at Lady Salvo. I didn't do anything. I've been here the entire time. And you can see that they've raised up a body on a gurney, and they've got the sheet laid over it, but you can see kind of where the blood is soaking through the sheet and as you pull it back, you see the bullet-ridden and melted face of the thing that was Smythe.
He's dead, all right. I'll search the body, I guess.
All right. You don't need to give me a roll to find, to just kind of search like a corpse.
I'll do the thing where I pick up his wrist, feel for a pulse and then drop it, and then say out loud, he's dead, all right.
When you feel for the pulse, like you can feel that you don't feel a radius and an ulna.
I know.
You feel something solid, and actually, when you give it a squeeze, 2 of the fingers kind of extend, and you can see like small claws extend from the fingertips. The other arm, they've kind of coiled the chain up underneath it and kind of left it there.
I know it's just traditional for a pulp adventurer to say those words, so I do say those words.
Yeah. As you kind of pat him down, you do notice that the gurney seems to be at or just above its recommended weight limit, as if whatever this body is much heavier. And as you sort of you find Smith's phone that he's been talking on this entire time. But as you kind of pat the body down, you feel like there is something small just under his skin on his chest. You can, when you push at it, you can kind of feel it depress just a little bit.
I'll turn to one of the medics and say, "Scalpel."
Reflexively, this guy just hands you a scalpel and then looks at you and is like, are you authorized? That's it. I don't care what my mother says. Medical profession is not for me. And he starts taking his scrubs off as he goes walking away. So as you kind of cut it open, you can like almost as soon as you get about 50% away around, this thing pops out of his chest, and you can see that there is a cavity, like a safe box inside of its chest, a flesh pocket, if you will. And you can see inside it there are two things. There is a you're from the Nile Empire. What looks to be a gentleman's wallet, so kind of the long leather case where you would have bills and IDs and things in there, and a very strange phone that seems to have an antenna on the side of it.
Yeah, both of those are coming with me. And then I will cover him back up and head downstairs.
You cover him back up, but he's got this like 8-inch rectangle that's kind of tenting on his chest. All right, so you head back downstairs. You finish. Is there anything else you wanted to ask Dr. Ortega?
In your examination of the patient, was there anything odd about the patient other than the way that he was acting?
We never did get the IV in, which is strange because Jenny is usually like spot on with that sort of thing. She usually can get the vein on the very first try. He said that he was just cold and notoriously had poor circulation.
I see. And was he bleeding or bruising at all?
Oh yes, I mean, most of the cuts, though, were superficial. He was complaining about pain in his left arm, as if it had been broken, and I do remember the hand hanging at a strange angle. You remember that hand extending with a chain and attacking you. Yeah.
I do remember that, yes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ortega. You've been very helpful. I'm very sorry about your orderly.
I thank you. And you are?
And I just walk off.
Yeah, you do, Edith. All right. So, you guys sort of all gather back together at the newly de-low-jacked vehicle.
Is this the dented one or a non-dented?
This is a non-dented one. This is the one you arrived in.
Oh right, okay. Got it. I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Right. This is the Dodge sports car, the Challenger that you raced over here in.
We got this from the department, didn't we?
You did.
I think it's probably an Interceptor.
Oh, that's right. We did establish it was an Interceptor last time.
Okay. So when I show up, I'll walk over to V and hand her. This is Smith's phone, and this is some other phone-like device I found inside his body.
So Smith's phone looks pretty rough. Like maybe he was standing next to a vehicle when it exploded. The screen is cracked. It's dented. It definitely smells of accelerant and burnt metal and rubber. The other one is a again, not cyber papacy level, but bleeding edge core Earth satellite phone. Complete with vid screen.
Can I try to retrieve the SIM card from Smith's phone, or is it badly damaged?
I'm going to say that you need to give me a 14, a DN14 computer test to get what you can off of this. I'm sorry. One of the people in chat said in their headcanon, the reason the doctor was so nonplussed by Edith is because she's all glittered up.
I may or may not have put a glitter dinosaur on Edith's.
Headcanon accepted.
Headcanon accepted. All right. Sorry, V. What were you saying? That came in, and I had to respond to it.
I'm spending your possibility. No, I said I may or may not have painted a glitter dinosaur on Edith's cheek.
I'm gonna lean over to Aegon and say, or Anton, and say, suddenly I feel drab.
He offered us all glitter.
Yeah.
What'd you get, V?
Okay, so I'm doing some math. So 17 and 6 is 23, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so 23 is plus 8. And you said this is a what roll?
Computer, and you need to get at least a 14.
Oh, well then I didn't need to use a possibility because I'm supposed to roll favorably anyway. So 17 is a 4, so that's a 16.
All right. Yeah, you're able to get the information off of the SIM card. So you kind of like absorb that.
Yeah, I just want to know who he was calling before, blew up. And then the sat phone, can I see the last number dialed?
Oh yeah, there's only one number in the sat phone.
Okay.
You know who's going to pick up when you dial it.
I know, but I kind of want to prank him. Like Domino's Pizza.
And it's going to be her, and then she'll know that we won
Have the phone.
bit. So I would not.
Dial it. Yes.
Not yet. Maybe we catch up to her.
I could
As
pay
a
a kid
distraction.
like $5 to have them do it.
I could look through the wallet.
So when you open the wallet is filled with cash you don't recognize. It seems to have like ink that changes colors and sort of a 3D printing on it. They say Euro on them, and the ID card has Edward's face on it, but it says that his name is Carl Delancey, and that he is a resident of some place called. Well, you're from the Nile Empire of Germany, and it actually has a passport in this folding wallet as well. It looks like this person came, or whoever this Carl Delancey is, definitely was traveling to and from Russia within the last 8 weeks.
I'll show V the card as well. This was his identity, I believe. And I'll hand Anton the money.
Is the card adaptive? Like, is there any sort of tech built into it, or is it just a standard ID?
No, it is a. If it's a forgery, it's the best forgery you've ever seen. Anton, you have 700 euros.
Mark?
Do we use those?
You don't, but you have 700 euros.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, at the very least, in Tharcold, the euro. Never mind. I'm not going to go that route.
It's paper. I can burn it, start fire.
That's right. So, what are you guys What do you guys? How are we going to end this? The end of this session, the start of the new act. What is the plan?
I think we need to get in the car and drive to the club.
Go to the club.
Fortuna's Den. All right.
Fortuna's Den.
Do we want to try to find if the daggers are there and maybe use them to help track her?
If you remember, the site blew up.
Oh, yeah. Do we have anything else that she dealt with?
No, she's a serial blower upper.
That is actually like on my list of traits for Lapis. It says serial blower upper.
I hope she's listening.
I'll drive the Charger around and pick up everybody and say, okay, V, tell me where to go. I'll drive us.
All right. V, you direct Lady Salvo again down towards the waterfront side of the Philadelphia sort of port district, sort of towards not towards where like the ships in the harbor are at, but more of like the upscale area where like private docks are available, private businesses have their own waterfront access, that sort of thing. And as you pull up to this very nondescript sort of building, I'd like all of you to give me a find roll here to end the session.
Are we looking for more glitter?
No, there's like glitter is everywhere. Even if you don't want to glitter up, you now have glitter on you because that is how glitter works. That is how glitter works. Edith, what did you get?
9.
Anton?
7.
V?
I was an 18 and then kicked over to a 4.
Aww.
Lady Salvo?
14.
This is highly appropriate. You, Lady Salvo, you immediately, like, you see 6 exits, 4 stories. You see people kind of walking around. They're backlit. And you can see that some of them are walking around with short submachine guns. And
armed security, she'll say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily armed security.
And you see, there's not a line. It's not like a club like that, but there are 2 guys kind of standing at the street side entrance, and they're talking. They're kind of stopping people as they go in. And Lady Salvo, entering the door as you are kind of doing that slow turn onto the street, so you can do that pass by to kind of see what's on here. You look over, and there's a bald man kind of getting ready to enter into the club. The door's open for him, and he kind of looks, and you catch the profile of his face: glasses, goatee, red body armor. It's Lord Grimdark. He steps into Fortuna's Den, and that's where we will stop for tonight.
Wait. Well, last thing is, I would
go for it. You're from the Nile
if I need to spend a possibility for this, I will. But I think what would be great is if the music we hear through the doors of the club is the theme to John Wick.
Nope, that works for me. You kind of hear this music, you all kind of feel the tension rise. And we will start in Fortuna's Den next week. We have a title for next week's episode already from the chat. All that glitters is not Edith.
Very good.
Yes. Edith is glittering.
So don't forget, you guys have 5 experience points to spend before next session. Let me know what you guys are doing with it. Thank you all for tuning in. Our producer, who is also our moderator, has said the chat has been a riot. I am so glad. I hope you guys realize that when you guys put stuff in the chat, we will interact with it live. Also, if you leave comments on YouTube, we will talk about them on stream. So thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in this show. Thank you for playing my 4 Horsemen. Check out all the other great shows that Ulysses has. I'll be back with Mark and Lily on Thursday for our Fading Sun show. Ross and I will be back on Thursday for Myth Campfire Chats. Bill Bridges does Heretical Musings, which is his discussion of Fading Suns. Eric is doing stuff with the Myth board game. We have Dark Eye shows, and we have the Ulysses World show, where they sort of talk about all of the great games that Ulysses has going on and the new projects that are coming down the pipeline. So subscribe here on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. Yes, Mark?
Is it still time? Can you jump on the Kickstarter, or is that ended?
Nope, that is
the
Fading Suns one was it ended on, I think, 4 days after we were there. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I think the Fading Suns late pledges is closed. But there will be a new Torg Kickstarter soon. We will let you know as soon as it goes live. And again, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for tuning in. We are the Four Horsemen. Or they are the Four Horsemen. I am JM the GM. We will see you in a week.